G'day world, Chris Hogan and Andrew Grote coming to you live from Me Media Studio here at Burleigh Heads for episode 86 of Get Fact Up. And today we're actually going to be delivering a content marketing snapshot and some quotes from around the world that we think are imperative for everybody to hear. And we're going to give our viewpoint on them. So, do you want to kick us off, Andrew?
Sure. So we're kind of starting off on baby boomers. So the quote is, by 2020, most baby boomers will have retired, while Generation Y, is that us?
Yes.
Will dominate employment, compromising of 42% of the workforce. We are headed towards the biggest leadership succession ever.
So that's a quote from McCrindle, an Australian research company. And essentially, yes, Generation Y, anybody born after 1980s. And something that's happening around the Gen Ys as well is that Gen Ys are generally marked by an increased use in familiarity with communications, media, and digital technologies. So that's just a definition from Wikipedia.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was wondering about, like the leadership succession. What does that mean to you? Because I was trying to figure that out myself, and I thought, well, the biggest thing for me for Gen Y is their adoption of technology, and that kind of determines success there, because you're either, for me, and seeing businesses that are run by Generation Y people, they're either adopting technology or they're adopting what their parents did. They're inheriting their parents' business and going with that same model. And I feel like that's the big difference between success there. So leadership succession. Yeah.
So essentially what's happening is the baby boomers, they're the CEOs and potentially the founders of the business, passing the baton on to the younger generation, the Generation Y that's coming through. And so because that's what's occurring, we need to be targeting our marketing towards Generation Y, aka millennials.
Yeah, because obviously they're the future of business.
And they are the decision makers. So Generation Ys are part of the millennial group, and essentially, they're almost digital natives, and that's what that second piece of info was from Wikipedia, is basically saying that, I grew up when computers sort of didn't exist, and then they came into existence, and I was lucky enough to be one of those families that, well, my parents needed to use computers at work, so we got a computer at home, and then became very familiar with computerized tech, and then the gaming revolution came through, and so I was lucky enough to also see that come through as well and be part of that. And so essentially I was an earlier adopter of technology. So I understand technology as a generation. Well, I'm XY. So you're more Y than me. So I'm really on the cusp, but because of my early adoption of technology, I kind of fit into the Gen Y realm. Now, so because Generation Ys are our new essential, target audience, and the millennials, we have to understand how they're using technology. And of course, we're not consuming TV anywhere near as much as we normally would. In fact, we have a stat on that. So OzTam actually are a company who put out regular reports on the Australian video viewing. And in Q4 of 2017, they said that there's been a 24% decline in live TV for 18 to 24-year-olds and 20% decline for 25 to 34-year-olds since 2016. So essentially, traditional media consumption going down.
Honestly, I think that's being conservative. I would say it's a lot higher than that.
And that's exactly what everybody says as soon as I put this stat out to them.
Well, I think that's a safe fact there, but I would say it's probably more like 50%. I was literally talking to someone last night about how they're crushing it in the social space, and their in-house competitor was opting to delay sales to put out new newspaper ads and losing sales in the time it took to put the newspaper ad out. And I was like, that's just crazy. And this person said, yeah, that person used to be on top 6-7 years ago. they were on top, and now they're still trying to do the same thing, and it's not working anymore. So it's great. I would say it's much higher than this.
Yes, I would agree with you as well. But, let's just stick with the facts.
Let's just say traditional media sucks. Let's not put a number to it.
Well, yeah, look, it to some degree, I still believe that traditional media can have its place in the world. But like we said in the previous episode, put your money where in the channel where the audience are. And so another thing that's happening with the Gen Ys and millennials is that they have traditionally in traditional media, so TV, newspapers, they're actually organically ad blocking, right? So they're basically skimming past ads. They're almost immune to them.
I see. Yep.
In TV, they're going turn the volume down, change channel. And radio, they're going turn the volume down, change channel. I just want to listen to music, or I want to listen to that funny person talk.
Not to mention their brain. Your brain just switches off when ads play. If you don't have access to volume controls at the time, you just tune out.
Yeah.
This is an interesting thing for me because as Gen Y, well, I'm assuming I'm Gen Y,
Yeah.
but I've never actually used ad blocking myself before, but I have definitely blocked ads. Like, for example, like Spotify. If I'm not on Spotify Premium, I'll just turn down the ads saying go Premium. I'll literally just turn that down in my car or unplug the auxiliary for 30 seconds and then put it back in. So I've never actually used ad blockers. Have you used ad blockers?
I've never
before?
used them. I'm just organic. I don't need a tool to turn off from ads,
Yeah.
So yeah, I've never used them, but it's interesting that these stats exist because it's basically just further proof that traditional types of delivering ads don't work, one, and then two, the digital ads that we've come to know that we thought, were all really cool, like banner ads, or these in-stream ads, are starting to be blocked as well. So,
well, I mean, for me, the fact that these tools exist means that there's a huge market for it. You wouldn't make an ad blocking tool unless there was a market to block ads. So it must be massive. It's probably more than 40%.
well, that's just in 2016. So we're already 2 years on from that, really. And it always takes, 6 to 12 months before they can actually release a report. So these are simply trends. And basically where we're getting to is that how are you going to get past all of these organic phasing out from, I don't want to hear that ad to I don't want to see that ad. Basically, you have to deliver content which is hugely important and valuable to your target audience.
Well, this is the difference between pull and push marketing is what we're talking here. Like if you're getting your ads blocked, it's because you're doing push marketing. You won't get your ads blocked if you're doing pull marketing. What are they going to block?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Facebook have actually gotten around this. Like they're constantly updating their technology so that basically ad blockers don't work on their tech. So Facebook's one. So Facebook's one place where you can put out your content, which you boost. You amplify that reach via paid advertising. Yes, it's still classed as an ad, but because of the type of content that it is, because it's actually topical, because it's actually valuable to your audience, they're not going to block it. They're there to learn. They're there to absorb information. We are in the information age. And so that's why content marketing is so valuable.
And I mean, if your targeting is good, then it should be appearing in someone's newsfeed that it's relevant to, technically. So, and we were looking at this today with related videos. I was saying that people that they watch a video and it brings up the darker version of the screen on Facebook, and they'll watch one video and then they go to the next one. Most people watch at least 4 of those videos. So if your targeting is good, then you easily fall into that sort of category, don't you? Like, not to mention the fact that Facebook are blocking Facebook is stopping ads blockers and stuff like that. But if your targeting is good, it shouldn't be a problem.
No.
With this sort of stuff, yeah.
Exactly right. This is not a problem. Content marketing currently, right now, there's no problems with content marketing. I don't actually foresee a problem ever with content marketing. In fact, we've got another stat here that Cisco have come out with, and they've said that globally, video will account for 82% of internet data in 2020, up from 70% in 2015. So what we're seeing is video just eating the world. Yeah? If you're not producing video content right now for your business, essentially you are going to fade into the abyss come 2020. That's a hard date. That's only in 2 years from now. Far out. Like, if you haven't got that yet, I want you to hear this message and I want you to absolutely smash video marketing. And if you don't know how, obviously you know who to call.